Myth. I can party with people as long as they don't have symptoms. That myth is false. As we've seen, up to 40% of people who have COVID-19 are asymptomatic and can pass it on to others. So I'd recommend avoiding any social parties, especially indoor ones. If you want to try to socialize but reduce your risk, I'd recommend meeting outside in small groups, continuing to wear a mask, and socially distancing from others if you can. Then together, we can keep COVID-19 out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Of the Nate Moore Show. Our show brought to you each week by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm your host, Dave Sheets, and joining me is Coach Moore. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Coach, your Tigers defeated Warren Harding 24-0 last Friday night. For the second straight game, your defense pitched a shutout and held Harding to just 49 yards of total offense. What did you like most about your defense's performance?
I like the effort that we're playing with. I like the physicality that we're playing with. Got 11 guys running the ball every play, doing their job.
Did you feel before the season started that you would have a defense that could be this dominant?
I mean, I think we thought that we could be pretty good. I don't think you ever predict, less than 50 yards of total offense, but, I thought we would be good, yeah.
On offense, senior quarterback Zach Catrone returned to the starting lineup. He completed 21 passes for over 200 yards and a touchdown. How would you assess Zach's play last week?
I thought he played well. I thought he distributed the ball well, made some good reads, some good throws, took what the defense was giving him. I thought he did a fine job.
Also on offense, you totaled about 128 yards of rushing offense. You had three different backs get carries. Are you happy with the depth you seem to have at that position? And tell us a little bit about each individual runner.
Yeah, we're happy with the depth we have at running back. And, we ran for over 100 yards, which is good, but, really we want to be a lot closer to 200 yards rushing. So, not really up to snuff from what we want to see out of our running game. We've got to do better at that.
Wide receiver Jaden Ballard led the team with 8 catches for 49 yards. In what areas have you seen the most improvement in Jaden's play?
He's playing a more physical brand of football. He's turned into more of a complete receiver. He's doing some good things, still needs to improve in some areas. But he's more than just a deep threat this year.
On special teams, you had another successful field goal from Alex Bauer. Knowing how good Alex can be, does it make your decision-making easier or harder when it comes to fourth down decisions in the red zone?
It definitely makes it easier. When you know that if you want to go for a field goal, that you have a guy that can, pretty much, he's going to knock it through for you. So that definitely makes it easier. We don't like kicking field goals. I'm not that happy when he's on the field. Happy when he completes it, but we want to score more touchdowns, so, we got to get better at that.
Sure. In a moment, we'll meet a Tiger player, but first this word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
There was a time when 10 miles to the gallon was acceptable. Today's 40-plus mile per gallon cars weren't even in the rearview mirror back then. Of course, this Lennox air conditioner wasn't on the radar either. It's solar ready, the quietest, most energy-efficient air conditioner you can own. It's time to live in the now.
Call Reliable Heating and Cooling for the most advanced technology in heating and air conditioning. When you're ready to live in the now, call Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
And thank you, Reliable Heating and Cooling. Joining me now is senior co-captain and offensive lineman Terrence Rankle. Terrence, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
For sure. Terrence, you have been selected as one of the 4 Tiger team captains. How did you feel about that?
I felt very good. I felt blessed that my team trusted in me and they entrust me in being a leader.
You have committed to play college football after high school at the University of Pittsburgh. Tell us more about the recruiting process that you went through and why did you end up with Pitt?
Out of all the schools, I felt that that was the best place for me to be. Great coaching staff, great location. I just love how they go about, carrying their team, and I felt it was the best opportunity for myself.
In your opinion, what are the physical and mental skills needed to be a good or great offensive lineman?
Being an offensive lineman, you got to be the strongest guys on the field. You also need to be very smart. You need to know what you're doing at all times. Every step counts. You need to be gritty, willing to sacrifice. You might stub a few fingers. You just got to wrap it up and keep on going.
What do you enjoy more, run blocking or pass blocking?
I definitely have to say run blocking. After you get especially when you get a pancake, or whether we call it a pancake or a knockdown block, and the running back comes right off your block and scores a touchdown, that's the best feeling you can get.
That's great. The offensive line is a group that needs to work together to be successful. How did you and how do you develop that much needed chemistry with your fellow offensive linemen?
To build chemistry, we go about that on and off the field. On the field, we just make sure we're communicating. We don't keep secrets or anything. Mm-hmm. And off the field, we do like team bonding, making sure everybody knows each other. So that's how we do it.
That's great. And from the offensive line standpoint, give us a scouting report on the Benedictine defensive line and their overall defense.
Benedictine's defense line is very physical, very strong. They're all above 6 foot. They play very gap sound. They're very disciplined. And overall, their overall defense is very disciplined. They do their job.
Very good. Best of luck this Friday.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Terrence. And Coach Moore will rejoin us on the Nate Moore Show after this timeout.
Have questions about the coronavirus?
I'm here to share some simple steps you can take to help protect yourself and others.
Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Wash your hands often with soap and water for 20+ seconds.
Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue.
Clean and disinfect surfaces and objects. Wash hands after touching commonly used items.
Together, we can help slow the spread.
And welcome back to the Nate Moore Show. Coach, we just had Terrence Rankle on the program. Tell us more about Terrence. You know him better than any other player on the team, right?
Yeah, Terrence is doing a nice job for us. He's a captain for the Tigers. Obviously, that's why he's here today. And he's a good leader. Holds his teammates accountable. Excellent in the classroom. So checks a lot of boxes for us as a captain, and is doing a nice job as a player as well.
As we head into week 4 of this abbreviated season, how do you feel about your team's progress through the first 3 weeks? Are you where you want to be? Are you about where you thought you might be? How about your thoughts there?
I don't really have any thoughts about that. We're wherever we are, mm-hmm. And we're always trying to get better. So, getting better every week.
Your Tigers are back in action this Friday night at home against Cleveland Benedictine. This is a team that Massillon used to play a lot years ago. They too have a long tradition of great football teams. What do you know about their program?
Well, we played 27 times. We're 22-4-1 against Benedictine. First game in 1954, Tigers won. Mm-hmm. Last game in 2004, the Tigers lost. So we need to have a little revenge factor from that last ball game that's been played. And Benny's been a really good program over the years. Won several state championships. So I think a lot of people are excited about this game. We are too.
Absolutely. Tell us about what they've done their first 3 weeks of the season.
Well, they're 2-1. They beat St. V's and they beat Warren, and they lost to Hoban last week.
And what do you know about their offense and maybe some of their key personnel there?
They're good offensively, based out of 11 personnel. A good senior quarterback, returning starter, really good at receiver. Good up front. They're a nice, well-balanced offense.
And then how about the Bengals on defense?
They base out of an odd front, 3-4, multiple coverages, some cover 2, which, some true cover 2, which you don't see a lot, some 4, but a lot of 1 high, cover 3, cover 1. And good at it. They got guys that can cover in man coverage, athletic linebackers, good defensive line. They're good at all 3 levels.
Do you feel that this will be the biggest challenge for your defense to date?
I mean, that doesn't really matter to us. It's the next challenge. So that's it's all we care about.
Okay, very good. All right, we want to thank Coach Moore and Tiger Captain Terrence Rankle for joining us on the show this week. This edition of the Nate Moore Show brought to you each week by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm Dave Sheets. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Tigers.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our Career Technical Education Department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their career technical student organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.
Welcome to another edition of Swing, featuring Tiger Swing Band director Jason Neel. We're on air with you every Wednesday night following the Nate Moore Show. Our show is brought to you each week by Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon. I'm your host, Alex Wallace, and with me is Mr. Neel. Welcome to the Mr. Neel Show.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
It's great to have you. How are you feeling?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I could be better. Tell us how last Friday night's halftime performance at the Warren Harding game went.
Well, last week we did our rock and roll heavy metal show, and I was really proud of the kids' performance. That was our first new show that we learned, and the first show we did our swing show, and you have the whole summer to kind of learn that show, but it's always show 2 that tells me a lot about the band and how they learn quickly and how they adjust to a new show. And I thought they did very well. The music sounded nice and strong. And the drills were, what we were looking for from them. So, like I said, I'm real proud of the kids, and I thought the show went well.
Like many high school organizations, the band has a lot of traditions. Share with us what goes on in the Armory prior to starting a game.
Well, we use the Armory to get the band ready, and that's where we store our uniforms. And so this year we've had to change up how we get into those uniforms. So we can't just have everybody show up like we've always done. We've brought them in different shifts, so there's not too many people changing at one time, and they've been spread out, so we've had to take some differences there. But we get the whole band into uniform, and instead of using the inside of the Armory, we've been using the outside of the Armory this year just to keep people a little bit more distant, and supposedly a little bit more safer outside. So we've tried to adjust some of our normal traditions, but we still do our inspection. We still have our, have the band sing the alma mater. I give them a nice little kind of a pregame speech, if you will, before we march down to the game. But we also have a senior band member raise a flag at the Armory, and then at the end of the night we have them lower that flag based on, just some seniors who've been doing just a great job for us. We actually have the staff vote on which senior gets the honor to raise and lower the flag each week. So just those are some of the traditions we get to do. And like I said, we've had some challenges this year, but we're trying to keep as many things as normal as possible, especially for those seniors.
It's no secret that you and your staff count heavily on your senior class for leadership. Have your seniors been good leaders up to this point in the year?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's a great senior class. They've been just a strong class all the way through, from freshmen on, and we've definitely counted on them through the years. And especially given all the things that they've had to change this year. They could have complained and been resistant to change, but I think they've embraced it and overcome some of those changes. And I know it's hard on them, some of the things they've lost, haven't been able to do as seniors, but I give them all the credit in the world for responding well.
Yeah.
And they've done a good job, and I think they've been grateful for what they have gotten to do. So I'm really proud of the way they've responded to this whole situation.
Last week we discussed the 2 drum majors. Now let's talk about the majorette line. What are the requirements and expectations of becoming a majorette?
Well, we expect them to have studied, twirling for, usually multiple years, and some of these girls have been studying it for a very long time. They work incredibly hard through the off season to come up with their own tryout routine, and they spend a lot of time honing their craft. And this year we had to do a remote tryout, so they had to submit videos for us of their tryout routines and some of the fundamental tricks that they had to do. They have a certain amount of tricks they have to learn and be able to perform for us. And they're learning at a very fast rate, just like the rest of the band. But their routines are kind of non-stop as the season goes on. So a lot of credit to those ladies and our majorette advisor, Miss Lauren Foster, for keeping up that tradition as well. And just a great group of girls, and we're actually going to feature them this week's halftime show. So,
oh, really?
Very timely question. Thanks.
We'll have more with Mr. Neel on swing, but first, a word from Howard's Tiger Rags.
Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon has the best selection of tiger apparel in the area. And once again, Howard's Tiger Rags is the proud sponsor of the Swing TV show on WHS-TV. Be sure to check out their large selection of infant and toddler apparel. You can even dress up your favorite pet in tiger gear. See their large selection of memorabilia along with mugs and glasses and your favorite tiger jewelry. How about a license plate holder or a tiger hat? Howard's has one to fit your style. Stop in at Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon, and don't forget to like them on Facebook.
Thank you, Howard's Tiger Rags, and welcome back to Swing. All right. Besides teaching at the high school, you also work with the band students at the junior high. Tell us how that goes.
Well, in a normal year, I would be over there pretty much from day one, teaching the 8th grade band, and I really look forward to getting to know those kids and work with them through the 8th grade year so they're ready to make that transition into the high school band. This year's been a lot different. I've had a number of things here at the high school that I've had to take care of, and the junior high, the 8th grade band is meeting in 3 separate rooms right now just to keep everybody distant. So I've only been over there once so far. I'm actually planning to go again today and start meeting a section at a time, working in the small groups, and so it's just a lot different, but I still count and rely heavily on getting to know those 8th graders to be able to make that transition to the high school. So yeah, we have 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade band over there, and I'm actually only able to get there for one of those bands, but that I believe that's the most important year in the transition.
Yeah.
From 5 through 12. That 8th grade year is so key.
What changes have you made with your daily band classes during the COVID pandemic?
Well, as you heard me just say that the 8th grade band is, in 3 separate rooms. We've had to do that with a high school band here that, our symphonic band is too large to be in one room. So I've had to split up that band into the band room and the auditorium stage.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Smithheisler's teaching the woodwinds and the percussion in the band room while I'm teaching the brass on stage. Some days we're able to get them all together and go outside if the weather's nice. But just the amount of distance that we've had to keep between the students, the 6 feet recommended distance, we're staying at 6 feet apart. Obviously we've been sanitizing our equipment and stands and things in between classes. We've kept kids apart as best we can, and our daily check-ins for after-school rehearsal, we're still monitoring, are kids having symptoms? Are they feeling well? If they don't have, if they have symptoms, they're being sent home and things like that. So we're trying to do all these regulations while we're still trying to play music and learn shows and drills and things. So it's been a challenge, but we've had to be creative and try to do our best to keep things happening.
This year, McKinley Week, the McKinley game is 4 weeks earlier than normal. McKinley Week is normally a crazy week for the band. What are you hearing in regards to what McKinley Week might look like this year?
Well, unfortunately, I'm hearing that a lot of those extra events and things that the band gets to do are probably going to be not happening this year. For example, going to the Rotary Club luncheon where the squad leaders would get to go in and play for that, and seniors. That won't be happening. Our open house here at the school where we do the concert in the gym where the band marches into the gym and plays a lot of that music, that won't be happening this year. The Friday before where we do the pep rally and where we do the march around the town, I'm in some talks and negotiations right now to try to see what that might look like, because I think we can safely march outside. I think we can be outside. Maybe we could do something more of an outdoor thing, or maybe a pre-recorded pep rally. I don't know what any of that's going to look like, but I've started those conversations and hopeful that we can at least do something during that week that sets that week apart from any other week, which is really what all those performances have done in the past, that make that week a little bit more special. And anytime you get to play in a rivalry game like that, it's special. So we're excited for it, and wait and see, like everything else, right?
Yeah. Please give us the details about this week's halftime show when our Tigers play Cleveland Benedictine.
This week's show, we're planning a new show. We're going to do a Muppet theme.
Muppet theme.
So yeah, I've actually been excited to do this show for a while. We've just recently found some great music that we can use for this. We've got the Muppet Show theme that, from the old classic TV show. We're actually pulling in a little Sesame Street. You got that Jim Henson tie-in there. We've got Mana Mana, which is a wonderful classic Muppet song, and like I said, we're going to feature our majorettes this week to the Sesame Street theme. So some great Muppet music, and we're excited for show 3.
That's going to do it for this edition of Swing with Mr. Neel. Swing is brought to you by Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon. I'm your host, Alex Wallace. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Tigers.
Bye, sweetie. I love you.
Bye, Mommy. I love you.
No matter where life takes you, MCTV helps make sure you're never far from home.
Hi. Are you being good for Daddy?
Yeah. Can we read a bedtime story?
MCTV connects you to home because that's what matters most.
Good night. Sweet dreams.
MCTV. We go the extra smile.
I joined cosmetology because I've always loved coloring hair and different colors and makeup.
I joined media because I've always had a passion for all things related to media.
I've always had a passion for teaching other people, especially topics that I'm interested in.
I want to pursue a career as an orthopedic surgeon. And so when I saw that we had this class, I immediately circled it on my schedule and was excited to join.
This class has made me better because it made me very responsible.
I like the relationships that I've developed in this class. The girls that are in here with me, I've really grown close with all of them.
I joined this class because I enjoy helping others and I want to make a difference.
Even like just making something and having people go, wow, that's really interesting. It means the world.
It was just a really good environment to be in. It was real hands-on, and it was just something I really wanted to do.
I joined the construction trades to gain experience in the job I want in the future.
Everything that this class has taught me will account for my career in the future.
Before I came to this class, I was unemployed and Ms. Markley helped me get a job.
I'm going to use what I learned in manufacturing in order to better decide my career.
It gave me more knowledge on cars and gave me plans to go in the auto industry.
Massillon CTE works for me.
Massillon CTE works for me. Massillon CTE works for me.
Massillon CTE works for me.
Works for me.
For me.
For me.
For me.
Massillon CTE works for me.